The moment he said, "I'll be gentle," his voice low and steady like the earth beneath their feet, she felt something inside her shift in a way fear never had the power to do. Because fear had always been loud, sharp, and cruel, while this was quiet, controlled, and filled with promise. And as the Apache warrior stood before her under a sky heavy with stars, his presence commanded respect without demanding it, his strength evident not only in his broad frame and scar-marked skin, but in the restraint he practiced. With every breath, every pause, every step he did not force her to take, and she, who had arrived carrying the weight of stories told by others, stories of savagery, of men who took without asking, found those stories, unraveling with every moment she spent near him, because he did not rush her, did not corner her, did not let desire outrun dignity, instead offering warmth, silence, and choice, which made the night stretch longer and deeper than she expected, the fire crackling softly as if honoring the space between them. And when he spoke of his people, of promises made under open skies, of bonds meant to be forged slowly so they could endure storms, she listened not just with her ears but with her guarded heart, realizing that passion did not have to arrive like a storm, that it could grow like a flame carefully fed. And when she finally stepped closer of her own will, the air itself seemed to thicken, charged not with urgency but anticipation, his eyes searching hers for certainty rather than conquest, his touch deliberate, respectful, as though he understood that the first night was not about possession, but about trust, about proving that strength could coexist with tenderness. And as the hours passed, wrapped in shared warmth and quiet breaths, she discovered that what burned between them was not reckless desire, but something far more powerful, something that made her feel seen rather than claimed, protected rather than controlled. And when the night deepened and the fire dimmed, it was not the physical closeness that overwhelmed her, but the realization that this man, forged by battle and hardship, had chosen gentleness as his greatest weapon, and in that choice she felt her fear dissolve into longing, her uncertainty turn into courage, and as the first light of dawn whispered across the land, she knew this night would define more than passion. It would define who she was becoming. And if this story has drawn you into its emotional fire, if you feel the pull of romance built on trust and restraint rather than force, then subscribe to the channel and stay with us, because this journey has only begun. When morning arrived, it did not bring shame or confusion but clarity, the kind that settles softly and refuses to leave. And as she watched him move through the early light, calm, unchanged, honorable, she understood that the promise he had made the night before was not meant for a single moment but for a lifetime of intention, because he did not wake with arrogance or entitlement, nor did he treat what they shared as something fleeting, instead offering her the same steady respect, the same patience, the same quiet strength that had first drawn her closer. And as the world stirred around them, challenges emerged, like shadows at the edge of the firelight, doubt from within the tribe, memories from her past that questioned whether she deserved such care, whispers that tried to reduce what they shared to something simpler and smaller, but neither of them allowed those voices to define their truth, because the bond formed between them was not built on impulse but on understanding, on a night where passion was guided rather than unleashed. And as days passed, that foundation proved unbreakable, shaping every shared glance, every step taken side by side. And she realized that love born in gentleness could still burn fiercely, that desire did not weaken when it was patient but grew stronger, more enduring, more capable of withstanding the trials ahead. And he, known among his people as a warrior of fire and resolve, revealed that his greatest victory was not claimed on the battlefield but in the quiet decision to protect what was sacred, rather than dominate it. And together they faced a future that demanded courage, choosing loyalty over fear, connection over isolation, and trust over the scars left by old stories. And as the memory of that first night remained alive, not as an act but as a promise fulfilled again and again, it became clear that what they shared was not merely a blaze of passion but a lasting flame, one that warmed without destroying, one that illuminated rather than consumed. And if this story has stirred something within you, if you believe that the strongest romances are those where emotion leads and passion follows, then subscribe to the channel and continue this journey with us, because stories like this are not meant to end, they are meant to be lived, remembered, and shared.